Well, MLB The Show 17 was a interesting experience. You could tell right off the bat, no pun intended, that it had a lot of issues, and that kind of held it back from possibly being the best baseball game ever made. However, there's a strong foundation for the developers to build upon for years to come. So we're going to discuss the 4 things that MLB The Show 18 should focus on that would make it better than any baseball game that we've ever seen before. The first big issue of MLB The Show 17 was the hitting. Now, this was easily one of the most controversial things in the entire game. Many longtime players felt like the whole system was just flawed to the core. Basically, what was happening was that players felt like there was often better results for worse timing and contact, which doesn't exactly make a lot of sense once you say that out loud. I'm going to put some examples of this on the screen, and you're just going to see the zones and the results don't exactly match up too well. On the other hand, a large part of the community felt like this was just one big excuse for players who weren't good enough. And well, honestly, I can't tell you which one is true. Because sometimes the system seems like it works really well, and then other times, you feel like you're getting screwed over by it. That's why I think the developers are going to have to do a lot of tests and see if there actually is any flaws with the hitting system, because this problem turned a lot of people off from the Show 17. If they can perfect the hitting engine with all its new physics-based stuff for 18, that would make it very good. Our next controversial topic is the umpires. Now this is another thing where players are seemingly split down the middle whether it should be changed or left the same. And this is mainly focused on the umpires in online competitive modes, and whether or not those umpires should be able to make mistakes like umpires do in real life, or if they should always be correct like robot umpires. Now, having umps be more human-like makes the game a bit more unpredictable, and some think this could take the skill out of the equation when you're playing online. So they feel like having robot umpires that are always correct would make the game more skill-oriented and make it an overall better experience. But other people think that having umpires that are always correct will make the game a little too arcade-like and will kind of ruin the human element of baseball. So this is really just one big toss-up. Me personally, I think they could try it for a short period of time, make the umpires virtually perfect, see what the community reaction is. At this point, that's the best way to solve it. Will they do that? I don't know, probably not. But I do think that would help improve the game a lot. Well, this is the elephant in the room. An absolute no-brainer, the servers. Now, during the launch of MLB The Show 17, the server debacle was just downright embarrassing and totally unacceptable. At this point, San Diego Studios should really know how many people are going to be buying and playing the game. And it's not like this is the first time the servers have been absolutely unplayable on launch. All online modes were completely broken, Diamond Dynasty offline games didn't count, and the game's reputation took a huge hit among fans and new players to the series. One of the biggest problems was that games would just randomly freeze. The only options you had for getting out of these freezes were to restart your game, which would give you the loss, or wait hours upon hours for your opponent to do it. So instead of seeing who was actually better at MLB The Show, online became a contest of who has more patience. It took weeks for the game to actually function like it was supposed to, and by that point, many people had just given up altogether. You'd think we're at the point where things like this wouldn't happen anymore, but I guess not. Even to this day, about 9 months after the release, server jokes are still being made. Not all of the issues are even completely solved either. Freezes still happen, the queue is still there. You know, they say first impressions are crucial, and the Show 17 totally dropped the ball in that regard. If next year's game does something similar, it's going to be an even bigger disaster for the game's PR. Please don't mess this up next year. I really don't want MLB The Show to be the next 2K. Now this next thing isn't exactly a flaw with MLB The Show 17, it's more of something they need to improve on in the future, just in general. Now Road to the Show and franchise have been pretty much stagnant for the last 5 years. In 17, Road to the Show got a bit of an update, as they made it like some kind of documentary thing, or something like that. But in all actuality, it's pretty shallow and does get annoying after a while. Now, I've been saying it for a while. The best way to improve it would be to give your character some personality. Now, I know there's gear and stuff you could wear, but they need to expand on that. I don't want my player to feel like a speechless robot. Apparently, in the show 18, they're going to be improving it a lot, at least from what I've heard. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see for the first trailer to see if that's actually true. And now for franchise. I honestly can't remember the last time they actually did something for this game mode. It's been pretty much the exact same thing for the last 5 years. And I do think it's been getting ignored for way too long. It's about time they put some more effort into it. Adding relocation or expansion or some kind of accurate simulations. Just something. Honestly, there's probably so much they could do to make this game mode better, but it's just a real shame they haven't actually tried at all. If they do to these game modes what they did to Diamond Dynasty a few years ago, then I could definitely see MLB The Show becoming one of the better sports games on the market. Now, with all these changes and improvements, MLB The Show 18 could take a massive step up from its predecessor and cement itself as the best sports game and the best baseball game ever. Will they do it? Who knows? I'm just a guy on YouTube. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, check out my channel. You know, maybe leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to be uploading more stuff soon, so if you want to see that, you know what to do. And as always, I'm out. Peace.